morning. Hi, guys. Here I am, the woman with on a mission. I am a woman on a mission. I desire to help you live a fulfilled life. What I know for sure is that although I have this great desire to help you live a fulfilled life, I do not have all the answers. Do not have all the answers to all your wonderful questions. But my goal and my desire is to help you live a fulfilled life. So what I do each and every day is come to you and bring you something that is going to make you feel better. My job is to make you feel as if you are the human being of the world, the sole person. Because when I talk only to you, you who are here, each of you in that wonderful, amazing way. So a woman information is to help you live your fulfilled life. As I said, I am still seeking answers. That's why I'm taking you on the journey and I'm asking you, come on the journey with me. Be on this journey to get a fulfilled life with me, because I've done it for over 40 years. But still there are questions that come up, and that's why I do not have all the answers. So this is why I want you to be with me. Come, let us take this journey together. Let us get to the promised land of fulfillment, all of us together. So, as you know, tonight is mental prosperity, leadership in an organization and mental prosperity. Leadership in an organization these days are taking the slaps and the bullets left, right, and center. Suddenly, they have to respond to the world. Leadership in huge organizations did not even have to think. They were invincible. So gone are the days when being a leader in an organization meant delegating the vision of the organization to managers, who in turn trickle it down, water it down to the subordinates. But in this new world we are in right now, mental prosperity has become an important aspect of employee wellness in the workplace. The leaders can no longer lock themselves in their corner offices and keep the day-to-day runnings of the company as far as possible from them. They cannot do that anymore. Leaders now have to answer to each and every employee on that payroll. They do, even to the part-time employee. So you see, leaders must understand the mental health of each and every employee is their responsibility. They are not secluded. They are not invincible. They are not untouchable. So mental health in the workplace has to be top of the mind of a human being who wants to become a leader. You cannot be a leader and ignore that. Leaders now have to be in the loop. They better be in the loop, or they will answer for not being in the loop. They need to be observant of the changing environment of the workplace and what is happening and how the employees are reacting to these various changes. These leaders are no longer walking in with their briefcase and their suits and go plum, close the office, sit down. No, so Mr. Leader, you better stop at every desk and say, good morning, Susan, how are you today? How was your weekend, Susan? Because your paycheck depends on Susan's answer. Mental health of each employee becomes the leadership concern. The mental health of each and every employee becomes a leadership concern. You have to walk at Friday night and say to each employee before quitting time, good evening and have a fabulous weekend. That is it. You have to let them know you care. Leadership who does not care does not get to where they're going. As part of the senior leadership team, one has to be cognizant of the stress level of the entire organization. You cannot lock that door and put your leg up on your desk anymore, male or female, and look out the corner window. No. You better open that door wide and clear and have an open, coming, walking type of attitude. You know what? In other words, the leaders must know and that they now have to have their fingers on the pulse of the organization they are supposed to be looking after. They are supposed to have their pulse on their finger on every pulse in this organization. From the persons bringing the mail, from the person doing this, from the one getting this, from the one doing that, and the leader has to feel them. When they're feeling, when they're hurting, the leader better know that the team is suffering. Leaders have to understand the mental health of an organization does not belong to the floor supervisors or managers. They have to feel the environment when they're coming in. They need to be on top of mental prosperity for the staff. Mental stress of employees are now dealt at a much, much higher level than before. And the poor supervisor and the managers now have to refer them to the higher ups. Incidences that causes mental prosperity weaknesses in a company, like sexual harassment, like discrimination for color, creed, or whatever your lifestyle, your choice of behavior, how you live your personal life, those type of discrimination because you're heavy, you're fat, you're slim, you're tall, you're black, you're green, your eyes are brown, it should have been pink today. All of those types of discrimination rest in one spot on the leader's desk. So choosing to be a leader for an organization means you need to know the pulse of your organization. These leaders that think they can close their eyes to those things, gone are the days when leadership could just say, oh, sweep them under the rug. I didn't see that, John, I didn't see you do that. Sweep these incidences under the rug. Pretend they never happened. Really? Really? And mental weakness is happening to that person. And you want to ask them why they're behaving that way. Why are they mentally unfit to do your job and you're ready to punish them? And you're saying, well, it was just this. No, to that person who is being harassed and is suffering mentally, that is affecting their productivity, and you better look out. It's affecting your bottom line. So Mr. Leader and Mrs. Leader, sweeping those incidences that are causing mental prosperity weakness in your team and your organization is not the thing to do. It will come back and bite you in the butt. And it will not only bite you in the butt, it will strip you of your privileges. You will lose your pension. You will lose those lovely packages in some cases. Gone are the days that we take liberty and put mental stress on people. Give them half of the information that they are supposed to have to do the work and say you are not doing it properly, but you did not give it all to me because you just decided I am black or I am green or I'm short or I'm fat or I'm gay, I'm not gay, that you're going to mess me up. Your way of trying to get rid of me, sir or ma'am, in your organization because you do not like me and you're putting mental stress and causing weakness on my pillar of prosperity is going to shake yours. It's going to shake the very foundation of yours. So you better get on board, people who are in leadership. Understand your role in leadership. Because when the mental weakness is in the organization, it affects you. It affects you, the leader. Because nowadays you're not immune to the ripples that are happening when mental weaknesses is happening to the remainder of the team. You are no longer there. When people are just walking out of an organization because of mental stress and mental prosperity weaknesses, the shareholder, somebody will say, what is this turnover about? Why is that department losing people like a sinking ship? What is happening to the organization? Are you aware that you've lost 10 employees and they all left because of mental stress? They are not able to do their work because something has happened that is causing them anguish and pain, mentally wrecking their lives. They carry that stress home, Mr. Leader. Know that your job is to be on top of the team. You cannot walk like king in the building when the building is looking like it is running with nothing going for it. There is no longer serfdom. They banished it. They abolished slavery. So abuse of any kind, and that causes mental weakness in a team, affects leadership. Leaders themselves have to watch and observe their behavior and manage their behavior, manage how they feel, what they're doing. You know, work is important to our well-being. So in addition to the income it brings, it can be a big part of how we understand our skills and a way to contribute to something bigger. However, a weak mental prosperity can have a big impact on the way we work. This is where leadership and mental health becomes extremely important. Leadership has to address responsibilities in this new world. They have to address it. Leaders are example setters. Leaders must lead by example. Their action and their reaction is affecting all of us. So leadership and mental prosperity goes hand in hand. These are the reasons why I always stress to everyone that mental prosperity and emotional prosperity are different. Because if you have mental weakness, you are really able to do your work. You excelled. You excelled at it for years. And now this mental prosperity weakness is weighing on you. You cannot recall how to function. You no longer understand what you're supposed to do. Your mind is all muddled up because of the mental weakness that is happening to your mental prosperity. Can you function at maximum? When that stress of any kind hits the employees, they are not able to recall the information that they have learned to keep up their responsibility. They cannot recall it. That is what mental prosperity is about. Being able to recall the information you know for sure and to use it at a later date to do your work. But if your mind is boggled with the stress and the fear of coming to work and somebody is going to be browbeating you, and there is no support from the leadership team, you go, because you know what? What did I say? We need money, income. In addition to the income, we still have to be at work. So we need to be at work. Bills have to be paid. Mortgages have to be paid. Food have to be on the table. People has to be kept. Children have to have what they need. The whole household is depending on that. So stress, mental stress, or no stress, you still have to show up. The difference is when you get there now, because of that heavy weight on top of your head, you are not able to recall how to do the job. You forget to call a client. You forget to reach out to somebody that needs to hear that it's okay. The market has dropped. And the stress of your customers telling you, what am I to do, Tessa-Marie? The market has dropped, Tessa-Marie. Do you see that? It's 125 points, 250 points. Should I come and get my money in cash, Tessa-Marie? I can save it under my bed. How do you think Tessa-Marie is going to answer to that when she herself is going through stress? So she takes the phone and she goes, yes, Mr. Smith, I understand. Because she doesn't want somebody else to hear her. Instead, in the good old days, before this mental weakness on the pillar of mental prosperity, she would have said, Mr. Smith, you know, we've had this conversation before. The market going that way does not affect the type of investments that you have at the moment. The market going that way does not mean that your variable rate mortgage, Mrs. Jones, is going to suddenly go up. But if you're suffering, that team member is suffering mental prosperity weakness, they're not going to answer the phone. They're going to let the phone ring, and then the person on the other end is getting angrier and angrier. Before you know it, the mess is trickling down. And now this pointing, why didn't you call back your customer? Because he's been calling me. You know he's okay. Why didn't you confide to him? And you're standing there like deer in a headlight. Then next day, mental stress, not at work. Stress of any kind affects the company. And it is the responsibility of the leaders to make sure that they understand that the buck stops with them. That's what happens. Employees are carrying those weight. Employees experiencing stress because of the type of discrimination they're going through and the things that are being said to them. These people are causing the organization to also lose. The organization cannot be strong. A weak mental prosperity team weakens the organization. Nobody cares. Mistakes are made. And people say, well, I didn't make that mistake. And the person who made that mistake, okay, you got them out, or they collapse, or they have a mental breakdown. Is that the answer? So what was the cause of all of that? What was the cause of this employee going through this right now? The cause lies in the lack of leadership and mental prosperity. Leaders that still believe they can sit in the Eiffel Tower and punt and move members of their teams like chessboard. Even on a chessboard, you can be blocked. But yet they try. But the new world is telling us, each and every one of us, watch out. Mental prosperity will come back to bite you in the butt. If the employee is having that, you better bet it is rippling through the organization. One dissatisfied, mentally weakened employee can affect a whole entire team. Today, I listened to an interview on, the hot seat. And should I go there? Maybe not. We cannot spend all of our time managing an employee that is dysfunctional. We always need to find a way to find the cause of the problem at work. If the cause is outside of work, then they need to get outside of work help. But we have to be aware of it. We do not have to carry it for years and years in the organization and saying that we are trying to be, what is the word that was used today? It's a C word. Anyway, in the corporate world where I came from, you cannot keep doing this. Compassion is great. But when you find the cause of that compassion, of that situation, you need to fix it. And many times in a company that is being competitive, the world is smaller. Money has to be made from the team, left, right, and center. The leaders have to know that this mental situation that's happening there needs to be addressed somewhere else. Every huge organization has help areas for their employees. They have to be made aware of them, and they have to be non-judgmental and let them seek the proper help. If we are constantly putting all our attention on the weakest member of the team, we are ignoring the others that can bring the team further. They feel left out. Again, that is mental prosperity. The team members that are not being nursed and cajoled and listened to and babied get angry, and they have a right too. Because now they're carrying the weight of not only the leader that is paying all the attention on coaching and molding this employee that they know is not moldable in that position. So the rest of the team resents it. And that causes mental weakness in that prosperity pillar. So you see, as a leader, you have to be in every corner, in every situation of the organization. And I go back again to Henry Ford. Hire people in your organization to look after those things, or hire outside help. When you have an employee like this, that you can refer them to the outside help. That is what great leaders do. Great leaders do not spend all their time fixing the broken wheel when there are mechanics out there that can fix the truck. Because if you keep concentrating on that one broken wheel, you're telling the three other wheels of the truck, limp your way to the next delivery. And they cannot do that. They too will crash and burn. When that happens, what happens to your amazing organization? You know what happens? When the members of an organization is losing and failing and weakening with mental prosperity, so does that organization. Because they need all the team together to make it work. You need the entire team to move that organization from where it's at to the vision that the leader had for it. Broken members of a team cannot carry their weight. Therefore, move them. Address the situation. Put them where they will be. Put them in the hands of those whose job it is to nurture them. Then turn around and express what's going on without putting the employees saying and say, this employee will be away for a while. We have to pick up the slack. We might have to do a little bit more. So mental prosperity and leadership, you cannot walk away from it. Gone are the days when being a leader in an organization meant that you delegated everything that was sour in your mouth and you gave it to the managers on the floor. Gone are those days. You are not allowed to lock yourself in your corner office and let the world go by, especially the world of your organization. So mental prosperity and leadership, it has to be really, really first class. Leaders cannot hide. Leaders cannot look at discrimination of any kind and sexual abuse and inappropriate behavior by staff members that are higher than those it is being done to, or somebody for different sexual orientation than the norm. That is not, that type of stuff is untouchable. And if you are not pulled up at the moment, like you're called to the headmaster's office today, guess what? In your retirement, you will be called to the headmaster's office. Only at that time, it will cause you more ache and more pain. So leaders, be aware. If you're going to be a leader, or you plan to be a leader of a great or your own organization, be aware that the mental weakness happening in any member of your team is yours. The buck stops with the leaders right at the top. You cannot delegate it to the floor managers anymore. They come to you with a situation, you run with it to fix it. Because leadership that does not address weak mental prosperity means they don't care in what direction that organization is going that they care so much about. Those tiny little hiccups by stress from different employees and different situations that is not addressed affects the mental weakness of the prosperity of not only of that employee but the team. It trickles to the other team. It's like a disease that is very contagious. It weakens the organization. So leaders have to understand that the 5 pillars of prosperity works in your personal life and it works in your professional life. This is why I brought this week of leadership and the 5 pillars of prosperity. As I said, I do not have all the answers. but I will trigger it enough in you so that between us and maybe outside of me, you find some of the answers to help you to live a fulfilled life. You cannot have a fulfilled life at home and your organization is weakening in the 5 pillar area. So mental prosperity that is weakened weakens the team. The weakened team weakens the organization. The organization that is weakened does not succeed. No bonuses for anybody. And you, Mr. Leader, with your great big fat bonus, will have to look and bite your thumb, bite your nails, and go home to tell the significant other, we are not getting that bonus, because our team failed. Why? Mental stress affected so many members that they weren't able to do their job. They couldn't recall the information that they learned, and they couldn't recall how to apply it. They did not return the calls of the customers. They did not make sure the clients were happy and contented. They did not renew contracts on time. Other companies got in there and swapped the customers away from them. Is that your message, Mr. and Mrs. Leader? No, it's not. And you do not want to have that message. So therefore, if you are a leader of an organization, whether it's an organization of 1, meaning you, or an organization of 100, meaning you grew, you have to be cognizant of what the team is. This is why I said leaderships themselves. So if you are a leader of your company, you alone, leading your company, you have to watch your behavior and observe and manage your own mental prosperity, because that is what that gives the company a boost. So this is my message to you tonight. This is the message I wanted to bring to you tonight. I hope you got it. I hope you understood it. As I said earlier, the live that I watched earlier today, and I am knowing what my topic is tonight, I'm saying, oh boy. Some things we cannot handle on our own, and those things we need to delegate out. This is what Henry Ford said. What I cannot do, I can hire people that are better qualified than me to do it. So I can spend my energy to create better ideas so that we have better services, better cars, better trucks, whatever he was working on. And a leader has to know when to hold them, when to walk away, when to run. A leader has to know when I can manage this, or I have to run and give it to the people that are qualified to do it, when to step away from the situation and bring in the right people again. A leader has to feel the pulse of the company, including the pulse of each and every employee. A leader himself is only an employee. The stockbrokers will breathe down his neck or her neck, and in little split, without blinking their eye, a tick of their pen, they have voted them out of the organization. And sometimes without a package. Sometimes they withhold the pension. It depends on how badly that pill of mental prosperity is broken. If because of the fault of a leader, the business is going to be sued for the mental prosperity weakness that affected employees, whose head is coming off the block first? Because remember, the fish stinks from the head. Sending you light.